What's good, y'all? AK here, and I want to touch on assessment scores and the role it plays. If you're going to apply to the United States Postal Service, you will take an assessment. Each craft has its own assessment, so every time you apply to a different craft, you will take a different assessment. 70 and higher is passing, but the higher the score, the better. Not only that increases your chances of getting that job, it also affects your job in a different way. Let me tell you what that is. I was hired back in February of this year in a class of 14. That means 14 MHAs were hired to work at the plant. What you don't realize is you are already ranked in seniority, and it's all based on the assessment score. Veterans, you get some extra points, so check that box. It won't hurt you. Take advantage of it. The higher the score, the more seniority. Other things might play a role to it, just like, the veteran's preference. I don't know what the other things are, but definitely the score. So out of 14, I was 4. That means 3 people within my class either scored higher or we scored the same, but something just kind of gave them a little bit more bump. Don't know what that is, don't really care. The list is set. Why does that matter? Story time. They had moved up a lot of MHAs at my plant to mail handlers. There was a rumor going around saying we might be the next group that could go regular. That's a true story. Now, what I'm going to say next is just things that I have learned by asking questions. So please ask questions. Ask your regulars or your, union stewards wherever you're at. Don't just take my word for it. I believe it should be about the same, but again, ask questions. So let's say we're about to go regular. From what I was told how it works is you'll get printed the list of jobs available to bid on. Let's say I got my list. I already have an idea of where I want to work, what tour I want, what days I might want off. So I'm going to look at this list and see what they have available. Let's say there's a spot right there for the machine apps. Bet. I like apps. Okay, what days do they have off? Thursday, Friday. Alright, cool. I'll take that. Okay, what tour? Oh, tour 2? Said nothing but a word. Number 1. You're going to rank the jobs from 1 to however many, from one you want the most to the one you want the least. You turn that in, and I think you just wait a little bit, and you just waiting to see which bid you get awarded. Now, like I said, class of 14 people. Let's just say there's no other MHAs above us. This is completely made up. They decided to hire my class, 14. I'm ranked 4. Let's say this guy or girl wants the same job that I just bidded on. They are going to get that job. Why? Because they have more seniority. So that means 3 people above me will get their first picks, and any of those picks might be something I want. So they will get it first, and I might get my 5th pick or 4th pick or 15th pick. It just really depends on how many people are ahead of you. So it just depends. So let's say they hire 20 MHAs and I'm ranked 15. That means 14 other MHAs get their picks first. So they will go from the most senior and give them the ones they want, and they'll just go down that list. And I'm the 15th person they're going to look at, and they're going to go through my list and see what's left out of the list of jobs. So what's left? What if I get my last pick? That can happen. That can definitely happen. So not only do you got to worry about those within your group that's more senior, you got to worry about however many people are ahead of you, including the regulars who just might want to change from the bid they have to that bid. So you still might not get the area that you work at. So, and that means you will be stuck at this area every day until you can bid for a new job. That is your job every day. You will have the same off days and you will work the same shift at the same machine every day until you bid for a different job. They say bid for every job, whether you like it or not, because you do not want to be an unassigned regular. But we're not going to worry about that right now because we're talking about the assessment scores and seniority. So another thing about the seniority is you can move up. How? People quit. People get fired. People retire. Story time. I said I was 4 out of 14 in my group. Not out of all the MHAs, but in my group. One of the people was an MHA, and she used to be a PSC clerk, but she did go regular at that other station she was at in a different state. She didn't like being an MHA. She decided to change her craft to PSC so she can go back to being a clerk. Some people gave her a little bit of headache saying, why would you want to change craft? We're the next group that might go regular. I wasn't like that. Why? Because she was above me. So once she went from mail handler, assistant to PSC clerk, I got to move up a spot. So out of 14, I'm now number 3. Out of my 14 group, 2 people quit. So whoever was under them moved up 2 spots. That's just 1 or 2 spots closer to possibly being regular. So that's one way to move up next to people retiring. Because usually when someone retires, a regular, that job becomes available to bid on. Most likely a regular might get it because they've probably been waiting for that spot for years. But either way, it's another job to bid on, and once someone bids that, then it opens up another spot, which opens up another spot, and so on. So whoever is above you in your group will always be above you throughout your whole career. They will always have more seniority. Another thing I want to touch on is, how do you know where you are? I don't know where it's going to be at where you work at, but at my plant, it's at the front of the plant, where the entrance is on a bulletin board. It will have the list of mail handlers and or clerks from 1 to however many, 1 being the most senior. And if you keep continuing on that list, it will eventually get to the MHAs, from the most senior MHAs to however many. You will be on there somewhere. Just read down until you see your name. That's where you're at. And they update it, I believe they say every quarter, but they might update it a bit more. It just depends on how often they hire. I am not really sure. It took them a while once they moved up the MHAs at my plant to mail handlers. I just checked it every day just to see when they would update that list. If you're fairly new, your name might not be on there yet, so you can just keep checking and wait until they update. If you don't feel like checking it, just listen around. Eventually you'll hear the regulars talk about how they might have moved up the spot or 2. Because believe me, they're tracking who's going to retire, and they're tracking if anyone gets fired. Because guess what? They get to move up just the same as we do. That's pretty much the gist of the story. Now, you heard me mention unassigned regular. I'm going to briefly touch on this. When it comes up to bid, they say bid for all the positions, just so that you eventually will get awarded a bid and you won't be in unassigned or regular. A regular is someone who bidded on a job at a particular area for a specific days off for a specific tour. You will work at this job at this area every day for however long you want to, with those same days off on that same tour. If you don't bid, or sometimes you kind of might get forced upon, that's what happened with the MHAs right before me. I don't really understand how it happened, but they are all unassigned regulars. That means they're a glorified MHA. They have all the benefits of a regular. They get the same time off, the pay bump. They're a regular. They are a regular. But they're unassigned, which means they're not assigned a specific job to a specific area at all. They're a glorified mail handler assistant. They will be put wherever they need to be put at. They at first started at a particular machine. If there's not mail for that machine, or there's not a lot of mail, or they run out of mail, they can move them to a work at another area because they are unassigned. So they will assign you wherever they need you. I was told you do not want to be an unassigned regular. Because if you didn't like being moved around as an MHA, you're not going to like being moved around as a regular. Yeah, you got the extra pay, but you don't have a job. Which means you could bid for jobs when they are available, and you definitely should. And again, you should have bid for all jobs, because that's not what they're doing at my plant. A lot of them aren't bidding on all jobs. They're only bidding on the jobs they want. But if there's a lot of people bidding, again, seniority, and they don't get that job they bid for, guess what? They will continue to be unassigned. Now, what's about to happen, at least what I was told what's about to happen to them, they're about to be assigned a job. They're going to wait till everybody makes their bid. They're going to award everybody whatever job that they bidded. And whoever's left unassigned, they're just going to be given a job. And it's going to be jobs no one else wanted, so it's not going to be a good job. It's probably going to be a job they're not going to like. It's probably going to be in a tour they're not going to like. And it's probably going to be a day off that they're not going to like. Like, no one likes days off in the middle of the week. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. People usually want that Saturday, Sunday, Friday, Saturday, Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Sunday, Monday. You kind of want somewhere along that weekend. So, you do not want to be an unassigned regular. I guess working somewhere you don't want to be is better than being able to work anywhere. I hope that was kind of somewhat understandable. If not, if you have any questions, please leave it in the comments and I will try my best to answer them. It is coming down out there. I wish it was a storm. I personally like storms. I like rain, but I love storms. Sorry, got a little bit off track there. Well, I'm gonna let y'all go. The video is a bit long. Hopefully it's not too bad. And hopefully it helped out somebody somewhere. Until my next video, AK out.